Hey Frugal friends, I am doing this video today in collaboration with Dawn from Centsible Living with Money Mom. She vlogs over in the state of Texas in the US, and I have learned a lot from her about frugal living, so I'm giving a shout out to her. And she wanted to do this collaboration with pretty much anybody who wanted to do it, but especially in different countries around the world. Just ways that you can earn extra money if you're needing extra money, ways that you can do that in whatever country or state that you're in. So that's what this video is. I'm going to put a link to her video below, and then I'm sure when you go on her video, she's going to be talking about other people who did this, so you could learn about different ways, different places in the world. So this is just some ways that I've come up with that you can come up with some extra cash in Hong Kong. Now, one thing that I really want to stress here is that a lot of times, if you are an expat, an expatriate living in another country, your contract may stipulate that you cannot have another job while you are on contract with the company that you are with. So make sure that you get that cleared. I know that our school is that way. So for by and large, like, you cannot just take on a second job while you're working for that company unless you go through your HR department and get special permission to do that. Most of the things that I'm going to be talking about are not things that I have actually done, but things that I know other people have done, or things that we have paid people money for them to do it. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that it's okayed for you to actually do the things that you want to do. Now, some things like, if you're reselling something, that's not really a job. You can do that, but just keep that in mind. So the number one thing to do on the side here, especially if you are a native English speaker, is to Yeah, I guess I'm not one of those native people. Anyway, is to tutor kids on the side. Tutoring is a huge, huge business in Hong Kong. You can either get a job at a tutoring agency where they will place you with families, or you can just get your name out there and you can probably get work, especially in English, but also pretty much in any subject. You can get tutoring jobs. Along with that is that you can teach online after hours. So companies like VIP Kid will hire you to, and you don't necessarily have to have a teaching degree. Magic Years is another company. You don't necessarily need a teaching degree to teach with these companies. You just need to be a native English speaker. Some of them require you to have a 4-year degree, but not necessarily in English. So I do have friends who do this on the side. You can make really good money, up to $20 an hour, tutoring online, teaching online. The nice thing about being over here is that we are in the same time zone. So whereas in the US you might have to get up like super early in the morning to do this, here you're in the same time zone, so you can come home from school and just work in the evenings and do some teaching online to earn extra. Another big one in Hong Kong that a lot of people pay for in the summer is either pet sitting or house sitting. Not necessarily paying somebody to stay in your house, but like we paid somebody one summer to come in and just water our plants while we were gone, because many, many expats go home for the summer and they need somebody to come in and check out their house or to check in on their pets. If you are allowed to have the pet in your home, that can be even better, but make sure that you check with your landlord and find out if your apartment complex or your landlord allow you to have pets in the home. That can be a pretty big deal. But that can be very lucrative in the summers when people are gone, because people are always looking for someone to look out for their apartment for them while they're gone. Airbnb. Again, check with your landlord. A lot of them do not, including ours, do not allow subletting of apartments. But if your landlord does allow that and you have a big enough apartment, you can rent an extra room in your home anytime during the year, or you can coordinate it so that someone can stay in your house while you are on vacations. So as an example, this is one that we used when we went to Shanghai a few years ago. We rented an apartment, a whole apartment, from this teacher there who was going somewhere else over break, and we were able to get his entire apartment in the French concession. It was a great little apartment, very central. We were able to walk to everything we needed, got a really good price, and that way, you can cook all your food. It's really, really great. So if you are allowed to do that with your apartment or village home, in theory, if you could find somebody to coordinate and work with you on it, you could rent out your apartment for the whole summer while you were gone, either through VRBO or through Airbnb. But again, make sure that your landlord allows that. Of course, if you own your apartment here, you can do it if you want to do it. Another way is Airbnb Experiences, which is a new thing on Airbnb where you can hire a tour guide, you can hire a cooking expert, a lot of different, anything you can think of. And this is something that we did when we went to Japan. We went through Airbnb Experiences and we hired this couple who were teaching in Japan, and they did tours on the weekends, and it was one of the best experiences we had. They did this hiking tour through this little known area. It was a really, really neat experience. That can be a very lucrative side hustle that you can do. You can be a driver. Most people who come to Hong Kong don't have vehicles. So you can drive with Uber, you can drive with Lyft here, you can drive with GoGo Van. There's a lot of possibilities. And, we have had to hire GoGo vans numerous times over the years to move even just one piece of furniture because we don't have a vehicle. So that's something that you can definitely do on the side. You can be an Amazon seller here. I am not going to go into a lot of detail on that because there are tons. Just Google it or put it into YouTube and you will find that there are lots of people on YouTube who will teach you how to become an Amazon seller. But a lot of Amazon selling now is just drop shipping straight from China to the fulfillment office in the U.S. and you never even see the products. So the fact that you are already over here, you can work with companies that are here. Once the border opens up again, you could actually work with the companies right across the border in mainland China and get those products shipped to the U.S. to resell. So that is definitely something you could consider. Mystery shopping is a thing here. It's not as big as it is in the U.S., at least that I've seen. I have only looked into this recently, and right now it's not even as big as I think it normally is because of COVID. A lot of the restaurants had been shut down and things like that. But it is a possibility. Just, again, Google mystery shopping in Hong Kong. You will see some different companies if you like doing mystery shopping. If you are a single person, one thing that can be very lucrative is to split your apartment, split your rent with somebody else, because most schools, ours included, give a stipend. If you don't spend all that stipend, you keep the difference. So if you can find an apartment, if you get 2-bedroom apartment and rent that with someone else, you get to keep more of that stipend, which is a great way to have literally increase your monthly income by quite a bit. Babysitting, childcare here. So most people in Hong Kong, if you have small kids, your only option is to have a helper if both you and your husband work. And helpers are typically Thai or Filipino. They come here, they live in your home. But more and more expats are not wanting somebody in their home 24/7, which is what a helper does. And even though it's really cheap to do that, some people just don't want that extra person in their house all the time. So more people are looking for kind of like a daycare situation, or if the mom is staying home, they just want somebody to watch their kid 1 or 2 days a week. So you can put your name out there as someone who can babysit, and I'm sure that you can probably find kids, especially if you're willing to do it in your home, where the mom could just drop the kid off for the day and you would watch them. That would be a pretty big deal. And then a site that I want to mention is called Flex Jobs. I actually just signed up on this site. It's pretty cheap. I think I only paid $35 for the whole year. I signed up because we are going home, and it is a site that puts on remote working jobs. So jobs specifically that are either 100% remote and online, or that are at least partially online and you only have to go in 1 or 2 days a week. So this is something that you can look at. I have found it to be a great site, like legitimate companies hiring, even like nursing jobs online, teaching jobs online. Just a really good site for you to check out. So you can check that out. And then also the site Fiverr is another one, which you've probably heard of. Upwork is another one where you can promote your services. Maybe you just do, voiceovers, or you do photography, or whatever it is that you do. You can put it on there with your price on those shops. So those are the things that I came up with for ways that you can make extra money in Hong Kong. I hope this helps, and I am really looking forward to watching all the other videos that people did in other countries. Thanks. Bye.